This is Off the Break Podcast, presented by Silver Screen Insider.
Welcome back to Off the Break Podcast, your podcast dedicated to current movie theater news, operations, and insights from the people that book the movies. I'm Kyle, and joining me is Cody and Ken.
All right. Let's get into this.
We got through the weekend, or through the week, guys. To the weekend.
We got to the weekend.
To the weekend. Onward.
I love how we start every week, or every episode of this. We got through it, guys.
Yeah,
it was bad out there.
We're there.
There's never a good week. It's always a battle.
Yeah.
Why do we do this again?
We do it because Friday, Saturday, and Sunday make up for Monday through Thursday.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
And it's a renewed sense of enthusiasm every week when we have new stuff to sell every week. It's not, we don't sell tires. We don't sell building materials. We sell a new movie every week, which is a pretty cool thing to be able to do.
Way more exciting than tires.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Popcorn.
Yeah.
As the accoutrement of the
Of our industry.
of our industry, which is even better than white walls.
I think everyone can agree with that. You worded it perfectly, Ken.
Not everybody gets to sell entertainment, so it's awesome that we get to be a part of that, and we get to talk to you guys every week and get through our grind, and then get some enthusiasm started about these movies.
Go Ken, he's making me ready to go.
I can't wait to hear what Kyle thought about our new wide release this week. We've got that on the schedule, along with some release date changes, Cody.
I know. Nothing bad. And we haven't had a release calendar change in a long time. But this is a good thing. It's Journal for Jordan from Sony. Went from a platform release pattern to a wide. So they're just going to go wide on Christmas instead of trying to go New York, LA and platforming it out up into Christmas. So wide release, Journal for Jordan. I think that'll be really good. That trailer makes me cry every time. I could not get through that movie without tears.
But it's beautiful. It seems like a really kind of feel-good story. Will have its sad moments, obviously, with some of the subject matter, but uplifting at the same time. Heartbreaking and yet uplifting.
Yeah.
It's no Creed 2, but it'll be fine.
I mean, it's Michael B. Jordan. He'll make anything work.
Yeah.
I'm all in on that. And yeah, I think it just makes more sense for this type of movie as compared to platforming. I mean, maybe they had Oscar hopes or something, but I don't know. It doesn't seem like the type. Good movie, looks like, but
they were treating it like it was 1917 last year.
Yeah.
Or 2019.
2019.
2019
yeah.
into
There was
2020.
nothing.
Right. Yeah,
There was nothing last
pandemic.
year.
Right.
But they treated it like that, and it's like, this isn't the same kind of movie. This is...
Probably not. It's still heart-wrenching, and they're probably beautiful performances, but it's not going to be that Oscar gold caliber.
No,
I wouldn't think.
This is the chicken noodle soup for the theater goer soul. Like, you need to cry.
If you're stressed
and
and you want a good cry, we'll probably watch this movie. I just got to get it out before the new year.
A quick thought, though. I think also the Kurt Warner biopic is coming out that same holiday, American Underdog. Do you think that could conflict, like the same type of demographics? Maybe they're looking for that uplifting sort of story.
Oh, it's Christmas. Yeah, there's going to be so much
and we don't have a Christmas-specific movie this year.
Or anything that would blow away except for Spider-Man. So So at Christmas time, I can't believe we're talking about Christmas, but we've got Spider-Man No Way Home, and that's going to be really huge.
Hey, they've had decorations out at Costco since Labor Day.
Yeah, we're basically Walmart.
We're late.
It's never too
We're
early.
late to the party at this point if we're talking Christmas.
Then on the
end of the
22nd, we have several openings. We have Sing 2.
Yeah, The Kingsman, I think, is in there too.
The Kingsman, Matrix, also on the 22nd. And those are like your next 3 titles. Then and then before that you had West Side Story, so that they'll probably want that to play through to Christmas, being Spielberg and
through the end of the year.
So you have West Side Story taking up a screen, so now we're at 5. and then on Christmas Day you've got Journal for Jordan, American Underdog. That's like 7 films in the market. Like,
so it's October again.
Yeah, it's just not all gonna get played. There's a couple rated R titles that Matrix and The Kingsman. And I think, Kingsman might be the one that gets bumped because it's hard to play R at Christmas, but Matrix kind of transcends that.
It could be, but Matrix is the only one that we have a day and date issue with.
Yeah, that's true.
So everybody else is believing in theaters.
Believing.
At the holidays. We have to believe.
It's just going to be really busy and you're just going to have to make some sacrifices. So you got that's a pretty diverse type of films across that whole week.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think there's going to be something for all audiences, and obviously Spider-Man will be the biggest thing there.
And there's nothing until the 355, like the second week.
I don't even want to talk about January.
No, so that we have
Get too far.
We have time for people to see multiple films during this.
Is it too early to put up our Valentine's Day decorations? Huh?
Stop it, Kyle.
Jackass for life, forever.
Yeah.
Just
the only film you want to see at
Talk
Valentine's
about the
Day.
February slate.
romance movie of the year. But no, we won't go that far ahead because October. Hey, that was great.
October's been really good to us.
Yeah.
Really, really good to us. This weekend is always traditionally really bad, so I don't know if we'll end on a high note, but we do have a few new releases this week with Antlers and
Last Night in Soho.
yes, Last Night in Soho, which you saw.
French Dispatch is going at
Next week. Expanding. It went from like 50 something theaters or a few 25 markets or something to about 500 locations
this week.
and then it's going to go really wide next week. Well, I shouldn't say really wide. It's going to go at its widest footprint next
Whitish.
week. Whitish. Moderate.
Yeah. It'll
So-
go to a few more.
A few more locations next week.
Right.
So I think, Eternals next week is going to start November off strong, and then we've got so much product at Thanksgiving, and it's all looks pretty good. So I'm excited. Like, we're going to have a good November and a good December, and then we'll see where we're at the end of the year.
Yeah. I mean, maybe we can end 2021 on a high note, all things considered.
Yeah, it looks very similar to most of the Novembers and Decembers of recent memory.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't have a Harry Potter or a Marvel Avengers or something like that.
But we have a Disney animated film.
But we have all of the other staples are there.
There's nothing like I really wish Paramount would have done Top Gun this Christmas. Like it could have just dominated. I feel like that's the film that we're really missing.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they may be doing a disservice or damaging the film by pushing it so far, because now people are like, where is it? Has it come out? Like, they're losing interest.
Yeah. I mean,
they are, and I've heard more and more traction on Ghostbusters, like starting next week. Like, you're going to start seeing it everywhere.
yeah.
I think so.
Tickets go on sale Monday.
I think after the big flash in the pan of Eternals, it'll be all about Ghostbusters.
Yep. Yeah, Sony is put all of their eggs into this basket by keeping this.
Yeah.
This was their big title.
Well, they have Spider-Man, though.
Spider-Man is going to sell regardless.
Right.
But this is the one that can make them.
This is the one that they're really counting on.
Yeah.
They
With
do-
Spider-Man, they're like, that's a guarantee.
Yeah, well, because the last entry in the Ghostbusters franchise was just destroyed that.
Yeah.
Almost
The
destroyed
last
that
two.
IP.
Tarnished.
I mean, it went beyond tarnishing.
There was
Yeah.
there was a Ghostbusters 2 that they didn't follow up for like 30 years.
Oh, that's true.
And people may think
That one was
that
weird.
new one is worse
Baby.
than the
Yeah.
Ghostbusters 2, and that's saying something.
Yeah.
Dumb Chris Hemsworth was the only good thing in that movie.
He saved it. Well, not saved it.
saved it.
But he made it tolerable.
He saved the $5
He
I
made
spent.
me not walk out.
Not the full 8, but his $5.
Right. I would, yeah, exactly. You can take what you can get with that. But no, Ghostbusters, it's a much better movie. This upcoming one. It's so much better.
Yeah. Well, let's dive back into this last weekend in November. So what are you going to do with your screens after the Dune, we'll say it's a surprise. 40 million is what we expected.
Yeah,
and it
they
did
were
40.
thinking 30 to 35 and it did 40. So it was above expectations.
Below current, future, past expectations.
Well, I mean, it's funny to say that it's a surprising 40 million when the projection was 35. So you're like, it was a small surprise, a 5 million more surprise.
We're joking because originally it was a $70 million expected opening, and then it became a $70 million global expected opening.
Yeah.
They just had to go back into the writer's room and type that little
now
piece
it's
in.
30 to 35.
Yeah.
But all the reviews came back good. We're seeing lots of tickets this week still.
Yeah, no, I think the movie's there. I think it has done very well. A lot of positive feedback from the theaters saying that people really enjoyed it, that it is an experience you have to see on the big screen. But I'm just holding my breath. I'm going to hold my breath until we see what this weekend does, because even though a lot of people say it's a great experience, it's beautifully done, you need to see it on the big screen, I don't know how many people will, because you do get great a great picture and sound quality in some home theaters now. Like, people have big TVs. It was one thing when you had a little 30-inch box TV, but now that you have 80 inches, like almost an entire wall in your house, that's pretty good.
Yeah, we just have to trust word of mouth to be like, you need to see this in theaters as compared to in your home.
And that is what the word of mouth is. You need to see this in theaters. That is the message.
It's just a matter of if, these casual movie-going audiences are going to add that at the end of them raving about this movie. Because I've been seeing people that barely go to see a movie at all coming out being like, oh, Dune was actually really good. I actually really liked it. But you have to trust them in saying, like, should you go out for it or will you stay home?
So people might be put off by how long it is. It is quite long, but I've heard that it, is very well paced, that even though it's long, you don't feel like it drags on.
Yep.
And because of the story and the fact that they broke it up in 2 parts, but didn't really tell anybody that that's what their plan was, that you are so filled with action the whole time that there's really not a great place to stop, but they did stop it at a point, and they have greenlit the second part. Yeah,
Dune 2 is going to happen. They already nailed down a release date, and I imagine they had that planned for a while. They just wanted their $1 million of test to go well before they greenlit it. So there will be a second one, and I think people might be surprised but not turned off by it. They just may think the ending's weird, but the whole movie is just so good that they'll forgive it.
Yeah.
It's, we're expecting to see, a standard 60% drop, but if it goes 70%, this is going to hinder their wanting to keep their films on both locations, in theaters and on HBO Max.
Yeah.
If you do this with Dune, which was your surprise big opener, what's going to happen when it comes time for these other titles?
Well, you really need Dune to have a lot of legs. I think there's a little difference between something like Dune, where you need to be in the market for a while to recoup costs, and something like Halloween. Like, Halloween can sustain a 70% drop. Like, that wasn't out of the realm. That probably would have been normally a 60% drop if it hadn't also been on Peacock.
Yeah.
And so, but I don't think Universal's hurting on that $70 million drop. Like, it opened so well that that's okay.
Yeah, they'll make their money back.
And those horror films aren't normally super expensive.
Exactly.
So it's probably okay. Whereas Dune was very expensive, and Warner's really needs it to stay in the marketplace. And with Eternals and Ghostbusters and stuff coming through, even if I think it's hurt so much more because it's on HBO Max. Like, that's undercutting what little run it did have.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Real quick, it's funny because we're saying how expensive Dune is, but apparently Jungle Cruise was somehow more expensive than Dune.
Yeah, Kyle, did you
thing.
see it? It's all CGI.
That CGI Jaguar
I know,
was
but
like
it's just,
$30 million on its own.
But so is, besides like the sets, like Dune is also very heavily CGI. Like all the ships and the space
it's
stuff.
The Rock. He's expensive.
Yeah, it's true.
I feel like, though, it's Legendary, which does all of the Godzilla movies. Like, they were adequately prepared for this. Like,
that's probably true.
30% of the B-roll was from Godzilla. It was just a write-off.
They weren't like, how lifelike a jaguar can we get to be
not very lifelike,
to act like a kitty, and and the pink dolphins and all the other weird monkeys and the whole jungle, basically all the jungle. The big tree at the end, all of it.
I wouldn't think that Paul Giamatti is cheap, even though he's only on screen like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, just that cost.
A third.
Jack Whitehall was cheap to get.
Yeah.
That's why. Well, no offense to him, but that's probably why they got
Paul
him.
Giamatti's like, $5 million. They're like, you have to wear a gold tooth. $7 million.
Yeah.
I'm a real actor.
Right.
A gold tooth and like a white pit stained suit.
Yeah. You're going to be shirtless during this. $17 million.
All right, you can wear a shirt. Really, nobody wants to see that.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Yeah. But anyway, yeah, that just made me laugh when you were going over your thoughts. But I do get where you're coming from with that.
Right. It needs legs. Like it needs legs to legitimize itself, to create that event like that it'll really need on the second one. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be hard to obtain when it's cheapened by being on streaming at the same time. But we'll see how this weekend goes. Maybe this will be, like the film that surprises us.
Another surprise.
Beats that expectation for us.
A 60% surprise. Yeah. Well, we kind of wanted that anyway.
Yeah. So what did you went and saw Soho? That's a new offering coming out this weekend.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
I really, really enjoyed this movie. It's
Edgar Wright, correct?
Yeah. Edgar Wright made movies like Shaun of the Dead, and Baby Driver. And in here, he kind of seems to go down his own path of making a passion project where he combines his love of London and his love of probably Italian films of like the 60s and combines it in the mystery, thriller, horror genre. And it's a real mishmash of things that don't sound like they go together, but somehow he crafts it to where it's really entertaining and really worth investing your time in watching. And yeah, I just loved the atmosphere that he brought, whether it was the time traveling elements of going back to 60s London combined with this atmosphere of sort of dread and horror that's lingering throughout our main lead, who is, going back in time and witnessing this singer, this woman who's trying to become a nightclub singer. And at first it seems to be everything that the main girl Ellie wants to strive to be, and so she starts copying like the looks and the movements that she sees from the 60s singer whose name is Sandy. And but then Ellie sees Sandy's downfall, and it sort of almost aligns with her own personal life to some degree, and it's just this really cool mirroring effect, and it combines this cool element of doing like supernatural time travel without giving too much away. That's the best way to describe it. And it just is this weird, like I said, mishmash of ideas that don't seem like they should go together, but yet they just create a really entertaining movie. My one nitpick is probably not all of the straight up jump scare or horror elements really do a good work, but he still brings a new type of horror atmosphere to a horror movie that I haven't seen from most others this year.
He creates a different kind of tension.
Yeah, exactly. It's not stereotypical by any means. So it's a really different type of story, but you really enjoy the characters. You love following along the wildness that this plot even is. And yeah, it's just a really good time. And I hope people go and see it.
So a movie that's not a reboot or a sequel is good?
Original movies can be good?
Made by a good director, but it doesn't have like CGI robots or monsters in it?
Wait, he hasn't done an MCU movie?
I'm very confused.
Isn't that where they start from?
He tried.
What a concept.
He definitely casted one. He got that far in the process.
Sure. He almost had that Ant-Man movie. What could have been, but it's fine. We got Last Night in Soho, and that's great.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad it went well. I'm seeing, a lot of mixed reviews for Antlers, I believe is how it's pronounced.
It's French. Antlers.
Well, it's got Jesse Plemons in it, so that's something good it's got.
Oh, it's going to be great. Yeah.
At least certain parts of it will be.
I just struggle with it because it's like a little boy, and I just don't like kids in horror films.
Right. It centers on a little boy.
Tortured, abused little boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It's a very, very dark movie that very, very not many people will go see.
No, I kind of rather check out Last Night in Soho because at least it's original and it's not that.
It's more of a thriller than a
mystery,
downer,
blood and guts
horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one has Jesse Plemons, Cody.
I don't share.
He makes a good point.
I don't
Speaking
share
of Jungle Cruise.
I mean, I don't share the same super love. I'm not gonna be like, oh, that has Jesse Plemons. I'll definitely see that.
I mean,
but I enjoyed him at Jungle Cruise. I'm not gonna lie.
I bet he was fantastic.
Yeah, that's what you're leaning on.
That's the only thing when you say Jesse Plemons, I'm like, oh yeah, the Jungle Cruise. He was the German.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Antlers is most likely going to fall by the wayside. I'm hoping Last Night in Soho at least is behind Dune in general.
It's gonna make it. Both the films will make it to Thanksgiving and be done.
Yeah.
They're just filler.
Well, if Dune does a 70% drop, that's going to put it at 12 million, which is a low bar to cross for.
That's a good point.
It could fall behind. If Halloween holds up for Halloween weekend, it's possible that it could fall into second place with one of these big drops.
Maybe. I don't think so.
I'd like to support Soho and have it be one of these really surprise.
Out of nowhere, Venom surges.
Yeah.
Yeah, somehow that gets back to number one from like fourth.
I wouldn't be surprised. I told you
Sony is adding more marketing to it.
They are, but I really enjoyed Halloween Kills. I will not be surprised if it stays very close to where it is.
I think when I was talking with people this week about, what are we going to do with Halloween Kills and what do you think? I think this weekend is always bad because it's Halloween. People do other things. They trick or treat. They have parties. It's not usually a big movie going weekend. And Halloween is on Sunday. So so all the partying and everything is being done on Friday and Saturday. Mm-hmm. And I just don't know how much movie going is going to happen late on Sunday because you got to work the next day. So it's just, I don't know.
Depends on how hungover people are.
Yeah.
How hungover can you be to go to a movie, or will you need to stay home
for work the next day?
Yeah.
Cody has a hangover chair that she uses in her house.
Yeah, it's right next to my bed. It's my favorite.
This is my hangover chair.
Yeah.
I love it.
I put a heating pad on it so it's nice and warm. I get a blankie.
Yeah.
This is the mommy's
put my feet up.
This is the mommy still tired chair.
Yeah. This is where mommy's going to spend Saturday.
And part of Sunday.
I just 3 feet from my bed. Yeah. I'm so lazy. I'm going to stay in bed all
that
day.
way you can just roll.
I do need to sit up.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Oh.
All right. Anything else in the industry that we need to talk about, or should we just move on to talking about the 2 big trailers?
Let's talk trailer time.
All right. Sounds good to me. Well,
all right.
Yeah,
I'm going to say it.
I'm going
to say it. The biggest. It's one of the biggest trailers this year behind Spider-Man at Past Eternals is Lightyear.
It passed Eternals?
Yep.
Yeah.
In initial
views.
Initial
views.
24-hour views.
24 hour and 48 hours. It's
was Spider-Man still the first?
Yeah,
the biggest?
Of course. It was the biggest of all time.
Right.
But Lightyear. All right. It's Buzz Lightyear.
It's human form Buzz Lightyear.
Correct. Anyway.
Space Ranger that the toy is
anyway,
created on. Human form.
There's a lot of things around Tim Allen that may be good, may be bad, according to it. Yeah. Everything's politicized. Tim Allen is Tim Allen. To see a Buzz Lightyear not played or voiced by Tim Allen is excruciating. Okay, I'm just going to say it.
It's sacrilege.
It is. I mean, they already gave Chris Evans freaking Captain America. He has to be 2 of our most beloved characters.
You're not allowed to have 2.
I'm on Chris Evans' side here with this. I know Tim Allen has a great voice. He was Buzz Lightyear for most people's. He was for most people's childhoods.
He was. Was
I'm
there? Can you name another someone who voiced Buzz Lightyear, Cody? Do you have anyone else?
Actually, I can,
Chris
but I won't
Evans.
get involved.
Oh my god!
I can name another, but I'm not getting involved.
I like this. I like this a lot. It's human Buzz Lightyear. It can have a different voice.
Why wouldn't the toy have the exact same voice of the character?
Why don't most toys have the exact same voice?
They do.
They don't.
Do you think the Chris Evans Captain America toys have the same voice as Chris Evans? Well, actually,
I actually have I have a Captain America toy. It does not have the same voice. It's like Captain America here. And it is a
Avengers
studio
Assemble.
exhibitor relations sent toy. This is like a legit studio toy. It does not have Chris Evans'
It's a
voice.
legit studio toy, which they make as cheaply as possible.
Well, just saying, does not have his voice.
I'm sure if you bought the Target version, it would have his voice.
I mean, we only hear one line from Chris Evans, so I'm not bothered by it yet. But growing up with Toy Story, like, I do get it. Like, Tim Allen is Buzz Lightyear to me.
Now here's the real-life Woody, played by...
Tom Hanks, please.
No, Armie Hammer. Oh, wait, wrong one.
Yeah, no, not him. No.
I was thinking the other guy.
Timothy Chalamet?
No, yes, that's who I was thinking of. Timothy Cannibal? No.
We thought Tim Allen had issues. Yeah. Oh boy, Google Armie Hammer.
Or don't.
Probably don't. Don't bother.
I'm going to shut my microphone off for the rest of the show.
Anyway, Lightyear actually the animation looks awesome, and it doesn't seem like people are bothered that it's, like, but I thought he was a toy. How is he a man? Like, it seems like people are like, oh, cool, it's space adventure, and it's with Buzz, kind of. Sure, I'm on board.
Well, it's for little kids, and they don't care. They didn't grow up with the Toy Story franchise.
Meanwhile, adults my age are like, how dare they?
This is going to be a lot of little kids' first introduction to Buzz Lightyear.
It's possibly a better introduction than Toy Story. I mean, do you see that animation? It's crazy.
Oh, it's so bad. I mean, the original Toy
Story, it's aged, but
it's so aged,
ahead of its time.
But this is beautiful.
But this. Yes, but the original Toy Story, the story was so original.
Yes,
and
it so was good. Yeah.
Animation.
They had these tropes where they're like, yeah, we'll put famous people in these positions, but this was like A-list plus A-list in the same movie.
Tom Hanks won an Oscar. Tim Allen was Home Improvement.
Yeah. No, it says, oh God, Chris Evans, do you have to do everything?
Yes, he does. He could be doing more.
Oh, he could also be in House of Gucci wearing a mask. Oh, wait, that's Jared Leto.
Well, House of Gucci had a new trailer, and I enjoyed it. Lady Gaga is great. I really like her in this role. I don't like looking at Adam Driver, but I really like looking at Lady Gaga.
Well, I like looking at Adam Driver, so...
As Kyle stands alone on an island in the middle of the ocean, Adam Driver looks in the mirror and is like,
I'm with good people. Y'all are out there.
He looks like the Easter Island statues.
That I cannot deny. But yeah, it did as great of a job as the first trailer did. It, kind of showed off the glamour that we think of when it comes to Gucci, and all the actors look great in the roles, and Lady Gaga does look especially superb, and I think that's really going to be the driving force for this movie doing some business.
Well, definitely the marketing force behind it.
Yeah.
No.
I have two favorite film versions of Adam Driver. One is in Star Wars when he is wearing a mask. And two is an independent film, Logan Lucky, that he did because he is missing an arm, so there is less of Adam Driver to look at. That is the Adam Driver I like.
Oh, no. Off the Break podcast, tearing down actors.
I know.
I was trying to build up Tim Allen as Buzz Lightyear, human version.
I don't think I've seen Adam Driver in anything but Star Wars.
He's a great actor.
Oh, God, Cody.
I know. It's like Jesse Plemons. Oh, he's good at Jungle Cruise. And I know he's in other things, but I don't watch those movies.
Paul Giamatti? Anything?
He's in Jungle Cruise.
No,
swing and a miss.
Not off the top of my head. I know I've seen him and stuff, but there's nothing like. It's always the latest thing with me. Otherwise, it just gets shoved to the back of my brain, and
sometimes the latest thing comes to become 80s or 90s movies. So
sometimes the latest thing is a really old thing, and I'm like, I'm catching up on this.
Yeah. What was the latest movie he was in? Highlander? No, Cody, no. But yeah, those were the only two big trailers. I think that was the last thing on this agenda.
Yeah. Oh no, we got to talk. We did your review. We wanted to talk about one thing. We are getting a lot of calls about the Fathom event.
You're getting a lot of calls.
Chosen Christmas. Yeah, I am, Ken.
Not
a lot of
emails
calls
into our website. A lot of people are calling.
I'm actually getting calls from clients being like, "What is this?" Because I'm getting calls. So it's a faith-based film from the Fathom event is putting on December 1st and 2nd. And right now we don't know if it's going to have an exhibitor outside of Fathom events. So if you're getting calls on the Chosen Christmas special, we'll keep
called.
I can't remember the full name of it, but we'll keep everybody
tuned. We'll add it to the database and the release calendar when we have.
We are looking for a distributor for it because there is quite a bit of interest in this. A lot of the locations that are playing it through Fathom have sold out their first day shows, and so
this is one of those things we'll see a distributor, a a Screen Gems or somebody like that
Hopefully,
will
yeah.
pick it up and we'll be able to play it. Fathom doesn't, or the distributors, they don't go beyond Fathom if it doesn't do any business. But if it does, we'll see this. I mean, they
Right.
did December 1st and 2nd, and hopefully we'll get a chance to play this before the holidays.
Yeah, I'm really hoping because Fathom did it early in December that there is a plan to have it distributed to other theaters after that. We just at this point are unaware of who that distributor is, but we're working on it.
I'm sure they're still negotiating based on how well this does. What they can
be.
sell or what they're looking for, because it's going to be interesting with the call it's gotten already. If we can actually put this in some independent theaters and do some independent theater business.
Well, I think it's not rare to get requests coming in to theaters. Are you going to play this? Are you going to play that? And sometimes they're really obscure. This one's pretty consistent. It must have hit the church networks pretty hard, and so people are aware of it and they're asking about it. And when this happens, when you get interest like this, you've got to just pounce on it, because it doesn't happen very often, and you're going to get people in the theater that are not your regular customers. And any time you can have that opportunity present itself, you take advantage of it, because you can convert that person to a new regular, hopefully.
Converting theater goers one at a time.
Yeah.
Maybe that wasn't the right word.
I was just trying to.
A faith-based movie where we convert folks to theater goers.
Yeah, to avid theater goers.
Not convert, maybe encourage,
Or
maybe
remind
gesture
them.
towards.
Just lock the doors.
Suggest.
Lock them in there, people. Like, oh, you haven't been in here in a while. Well, here's the maze exit to get out.
Wording aside, that is very good to know about.
Yeah.
All
These don't
right.
happen very often, and it's just an opportunity to get new people or people that haven't been back to the theater in a really, really long time back in for something, that's really good and they're really excited about.
I think almost everything we have on the schedule for November will have advanced tickets up before you hear from us again.
I think everything is, yeah.
So it'll be time to get tickets up, start looking for group events around the holidays. There's going to be plenty of call for these things this year because you can socially distance your employees in a theater. They can bring their families. It's a low cost alternative to putting everybody in a restaurant.
Yeah, people are still doing private rentouts. They're becoming a little harder now that we're having more public showings, but that is still happening. I think people really got a taste for that in the pandemic, and it's a great value, and it makes the experience of movie going even more special when you just have the whole theater to yourself, and you and your group, and so rentouts are still really popular right now.
Yep, take advantage of it, and it's guaranteed income for you as a theater. So if somebody asks, do what you can to accommodate it, because that's you. If you have a public showing, you don't know what you're going to do for tickets.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue is the interest in private rentals versus the public showings you're required to do by the studios, and then the labor shortages that we're having across the industry. Like, it's just really hard. Normally you would just add more showtimes or schedule outside your normally publicized showtimes, but you can't do that if you don't have staff. And a lot of people are already on restricted showtime schedules because of staffing issues. So this is holiday season is going to be hard. You're not going to just be able to staff up and add showtimes and take advantage of it. So
there's not a list of or a truckload of whippersnappers ready to pop in there.
Whippersnappers.
Not like there used to be.
High schoolers
Kids
ready to
these
go.
days.
I know. They're worthless.
Are we at that age where we're like, oh, kids these days?
I'm there with you guys now.
I've been actively looking for someone working in a service industry job without headphones in, and I have yet to find one in the last several weeks.
Oh gosh, that's probably so true.
It's like how much are they paying you? I don't even have AirPods.
Yeah.
Are they hiring?
And they say the pay isn't good enough. They get AirPods though.
Oh man.
All right. Thank you everyone for listening to this episode of Off the Break podcast. You can find us on all podcast platforms and over at silverscreeninsider.com, where if you're a theater owner or manager, need to know the upcoming slate of movies, all the information to get you prepared for selling tickets or for booking your theaters, getting that all situated. You can check us out there and be sure to grab all the marketing assets that we have available to help with your social media promotions.
We've got all the assets for the upcoming Disney Marvel film. You will be eternally grateful for what we have on the website. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.